Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I wanted to talk about Story Mission Ultimate Mode, and how it's a little subtle change to the way that the game is played, but definitely a daily farm for those that are mid to late endgame players, especially for veterans that are running low on a certain number of resources. Here in Dimension of Clash and All War, basically using your own characters for this ultimate mode, and the challenge itself earns story fragments as you progress along. Now, my account doesn't have a ton of tier 3 and awakened characters. It's not something that, I don't have the luxury of doing because I don't spend any money on this game, but I'm running a little bit low on resources that I need to upgrade uniform kits as well as type enhancements, even though I've been banking them this whole time. The Dimensional Clash offers, inside of its daily fragments, a chance at one of these type enhancement kits. Previously, before, there isn't any place where you can actually get these type enhancement kits except for GBR. And now with this change, GBR's rewards seem almost piddly, and it's definitely something that needs to get changed over the next couple of updates here, to kind of get it up to speed, because realistically no one really does this anymore except for a chance at CTP, which very rarely ever shows up, and a chance at obviously gold because we need quite a bit of it. But I wanted to take a look at an argument to play both with the character bonus and without the character bonus. As I had previously stated, I don't have a whole lot of tier 3s, so a lot of these character bonuses I don't have the luxury of accessing to. A lot of times I don't have it at all, but I will still play through story mode, simply because there's a chance at the fragment itself as well as the basic reward. When you get the fragment, though the type enhancement fragment for the most part is just an advantage for the characters to have an advantage over another type, right? So for the current timeline battle PvP meta, most of the characters that are in there are tier 2 native, so these type enhancement kits don't matter for them. But for those that they do matter for, would be your Shadowland characters. For Magneto, for example, for me, I don't have any type enhancement kits on him, but I use him. He's almost like a catch-all for Shadowland. I don't have his new uniform on it, but he can really take down any Shadowland level that I throw in front of him. So this becomes an advantage for me if I wanted to go against a combat class or something like that, to just finish that run a little bit faster. Now, there are other characters in the roster that essentially don't have any use inside of the game at all, say like Songbird, for example, and with a type enhancement kit leveled up, she's able to take down combat rumbles, even though she's not that well built. Now, on the other end, that's for Dimensional Clash. On the other end of it, for All War, you have a chance to potentially get an Odin's Blessing or a Mythic Uru. Now, the Mythic Uru, for the most part, to get one of these Mythic Urus, it actually requires a number of resources to roll up. It's not something that comes very, very easily. It comes at the very high cost of definitely gold, basic Uru, and realistically a lot of luck. And we just had a chance up for these Odin Blessings, and even though some of the more powerful Odin's Blessings like magic, double energy and double physical attack are not available here, it's still a pretty solid place to use some of the other Odin's Blessings. Say, for example, crit damage and energy attack or something like that. They are still very, very useful here, and you can be attainable here. Now, that's if you have, obviously, if you play through and you have the chance to get the characters, you have the chance to get these bonuses. it's worthwhile to do that on if that's what you're looking for. On the other end, if you don't have the character bonuses, is it still worth playing? And I think yes. And the reason why I think that is because of the uniform XP chips that still come and show up. The uniform XP chip is actually quite a bit of experience based on what you get comparatively in other places of the game. The amount of uniform XP chip that you can get from just running 3 times, 3 story mode ultimate missions to get, a uniform XP chip is about the same as getting 10 of those level 2 uniform chips from hitting 3 million in Alliance Battle Extreme. So if you were able to score 3 million in Alliance Battle Extreme, you'll get 10 level 2 experience chips, which is the equivalent to running story mode ultimate 3 times. So that's both a knock on ABX rewards, but also to the credit of story mode ultimate being able to kind of produce that much XP. The same is true. You can earn about the same amount in Shadowland level with the level 3 uniform chips that show up between levels floors 26 through 29. I think it's maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit less for story mode ultimate to get those uniform XP chips. But overall, I mean, if you're able to run story mode, even if it's say 7 times a day, right, you'd be able to level a uniform from basic all the way to mythic in about 10 days, which is pretty good considering the amount of uniforms that we get per update, and a lot of the times, and that's quite a bit considering when a lot of folks are actually chasing the uniform collections that show up with every single update. I know a lot of folks are in this Kamala Khan one. It's just 3 uniforms, but it's quite a bit to get them all up to mythic, as well as not having a whole lot of time to collect this crystal reward for 375. Now granted, yes, it's a temporary thing. It's not something that's, you shouldn't buy the uniform just to get those crystals. It doesn't make any sense math wise. But if you're going to get all 3 uniforms based on what you've seen, to get that little kickback is nice, but you have to rank them all the way up to mythic. A lot of times, a lot of folks just don't have that. I have been fortunate enough to kind of bank them, being a veteran player myself. I've been able to bank uniform XP chips for quite some time. So I'm in a pretty good shape, but sooner or later you'd run out. And the only other place to get them is really from the Shield Lab. Let's see if we can find them here. But it's only a random case, right? So it's one of those things that's, is a uniform XP chip needed? Yeah, if you're buying a lot of uniforms and you're trying to rank them up to get those things. So I put together a Google spreadsheet to kind of make this a little bit easier to get, but I want to open these chests up to kind of show you what some of the rewards will start to look like if you do them correctly. Now I play them, like I said, I'm not just chasing after the fragment that I'm missing. I play them all of the, throughout the course of the day. So even for this puzzle piece number 1, I have 9 pieces of them. And it's not like they expire in your inventory, they're just there. So at maximum, you'd have 9 here and the 4 over there. So you have 13 taking up your inventory. But even if I don't have the character bonus and I'm playing it to collect the uniform chip, I'll bank those fragments for the next rotation, which I believe is in a couple of days here. But that's just the character bonus itself. That's always constantly changing. This, like I said, changes in about 4 days and 21 hours. So that character's set will rotate, and sometimes you'll have a better advantage of collecting a chip that you may be missing, you may not have as much of. So it's good to kind of play them and bank them anyway. But I wanted to put these together to kind of show you what I got out of them. And this one is a type 3 enhancement kit ticket, so that's nice. Well, it's all right. It's not like the best, obviously, but And then we got another one here. There's another stage 3 type enhancement. So I can use them on any characters except for the native tier 2s. So I'll probably put it on something like Magneto, like Songbird, like somebody that's taking into Shadowland that I use very, very specifically against, say, like Rocket or Hawkeye or something like that on those stages, because it just makes that clear a little bit faster. I also wanted to kind of see what we got in All War. This one is a little bit harder of a farm. Obviously, it takes a little bit more time to do, but I think the rewards end up being a little bit better. So let's see what we get on this end. Energy defense. That is obviously not the best Uru you can get, but it's something, right? This is probably going to be fodder to roll into something else, to change into something else, but it's worthwhile in doing, in the event that you'll actually get something. I mean, all it requires is one energy attack crit damage and it to be all worthwhile, right? But let's flip on over to the Google Sheets so I can kind of show you what we're looking at. I'll obviously leave a link for it in the bottom here, so we can kind of get to it. This on your end is going to be view only. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to go up in here on the left hand side here, and you'll have to make a copy, and then you'll be able to edit this document to suit kind of your needs. I will be, so this information is locked from here to here. It's the checklist of what character bonus shows up where. So if let's just sort this by alphabetical. So Ant-Man doesn't show up at all, but he does have a tier 3, so eventually he will at some point or another. You'll be able to go through this and kind of, I'll keep this portion of the document updated in terms of what stage has a character bonus for which characters. So I'll be doing that on my end, and then I'll just update this document as we see it. But on the left hand side here, you're able to kind of take a look at your priorities and set a priority based on the characters that you want to level, and really kind of what their status of, whether or not you've attained them, whether or not they're tier 2. I don't have Blue Dragon, I don't have Mystique, I don't have Namor because of, you know, certain conditions of how they're attained, but everything else on this list is already done for me, and I would assume for most mid-game and late game players that would be done for them as well. But you can kind of see what the gears are at, whether or not you've leveled them all the way in order to reach their T3 or ascendancy based on what, you know, obviously what character they have. I've been tinkering with this a little bit more. I do have to put an extra stipulation for their ascendancy, like for example, you're leveling the Awaken skill. But I will want to do that, and I'll update this document accordingly. Then obviously what you're working on in terms of tier 3, whether or not it's leveling from 60 to 70, whether or not you need more gold, Titan's records, T3 materials, that's basically Titan components, as well as CCF, and then whether or not their potential is unlocked. So for me, Black Bolt for a while didn't have his potential unlocked. I had that 4% drip, which was kind of annoying. Same thing is true for guys like Odin and stuff like that. But then this little hash right here is going to be how often they appear across both All War and Dimensional Clash. Obviously, this is the list of characters. This is the amount of times that they appear in just Dimensional Clash, and then this is the amount of times that they appear in just All War. So like I said, I'll leave a link for this document so that you can kind of cater it to your roster, and I'll keep this portion of it updated as we kind of see fit, and then we'll kind of go from there. I will make some changes, but by all means, leave your comments and suggestions down at the bottom of this video. I will definitely look at them. It's something that I'm interested to see how people will use it and how it will benefit. One of the suggestions that I already have received with a small pool of people that have looked at it is to essentially highlight the row when it's an easy farm for, say, fragment 1 or fragment 2 or whatever it may be. So we'll find some way to kind of highlight that row and kind of go from there. For the most part, I want to kind of leave this up to the community to see what they want and what they want to see. Obviously, as a potential Storm Tier 3 is coming, we'll be able to update that list. We'll be able to add her here and kind of go from there. But otherwise, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see change. Are you guys running the story mode missions? Are you guys playing with ultimate mode, or are you just kind of skipping over it? Otherwise, thank you again. I always appreciate the comments, the likes, the subscribes. But until next time, I will see you guys soon. Be well, be safe, and until then.